when are we supposed to take what we're hearing about our chart and trust the astrological timing versus just trust the divine timing?
Well, I think they're connected because, even if I didn't just share that whole story, if I just go to the astrological part of it, there is divine timing with the transits coming in. We're creatures of habit. We don't really move unless something comes and triggers us for the most part, right? And that's what transits do. They're planets in the sky. And when they come around, they activate planets in your birth chart. That signifies timing and cycles for us. So on the exterior 3D, it could look like a move. It could look like a marriage. It could look like a divorce. It could look like a baby. But also energetically and spiritually, we're shifting and we're evolving internally as well. So it's like, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Nobody knows, right? But they're all connected. In timing, you could see a lot of that in the chart. And then also I've seen that there's timing that doesn't show every single thing in the chart because it's our free will and how we move. I remember talking to someone many years ago, and I saw Uranus coming to Venus in her chart. And that, I like to understand, one, are they single? Are they in a relationship? Are they having trouble in the relationship? I like to see where they're at because that energy is going to play out very differently depending on their life and their consciousness. Now, she already told me that they were having problems and Uranus was coming by. And I'm like, to me, I knew that this was probably going to be a divorce. And so I gracefully, I'm not just going to tell someone that, right? We talk about it. We see where they're at. And it's for me and any astrologer to judge their consciousness and what they're able to receive at the moment, right? So that's a really important concept. So we did talk about it and she was like, no, we're working on things. So great. I'm not here. You're steering the wheel, right? So I'm just here to guide. I knew what was going to happen though, but she came back later and said, you're right. I tried to make it work for 6 months or a year. And then ultimately we ended up getting a divorce, right? So I say that because we have free will. Like we can hold on to something, we can resist something and we drag things out, and maybe we need to drag things out because our soul is just not ready yet, right? And so the divine timing is very flexible, but I do see the cycles in astrology, and then I do see the cycles with our own free will. So it's both. But, I'm an astrologer that above all, I don't check my chart every single day. You know what I check? I check my soul. I tune in. I definitely look at my cycles. I understand like what's overall happening, but I'm not someone that's going to look at everything because I trust my connection to source over the chart. Right? That's just going to back up and support it.
When do you think people should reach out to an astrologer and get a reading? Is it for their birthday?
Yeah.
Is it for yearly tune-up? What do you see?
Definitely, yearly tune-up is a beautiful way. If you're someone that is looking for all the answers and you're looking to not take responsibility, then I don't think someone should get a reading. I love working with people that say, okay, this is what's going on in my life. Like I'm confused. This is not working. I want guidance. I want high level perspective so that I can move to this, in a way, or I can stop fighting something that I'm fighting against. So I love that. So it really depends. Yearly is beautiful. If you're going through major crisis, really important. I looked at my chart after the fire and it's like, oh yeah, you never know exactly what's going to happen, but I had 3 major things activating and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, there you go. So you can see, but the thing with astrology is it's not exact prediction because going back to what I said before, it really depends on what's going on in the person's life and their consciousness and awareness. So you can see themes and you can see timing, but sometimes it's like very clear, it's like something comes to the moon, Uranus comes to the moon. There might be a move. You're going to be out of your house for a while. You might be traveling. But you never know exactly it's going to play out. Someone could just be like, oh, they had a flood or there was an earthquake and they had to renovate, or, oh, they went traveling so they weren't home and then someone else's house could have burned down, right? So it's like you never know exactly how it's going to play out. And that depends on our soul and our journey.